Thank you. Thank you very much, DDG Mungela. Good afternoon to the colleagues in the media. Let me begin by thanking you for having shown such interest in the BRICS meeting. As BRICS ministers, we really value your interest in communicating about BRICS. And I'm just going to read a brief statement, and then I'm going to rejoin my colleagues. We still have various meetings that we have to attend to. So we've come to the successful conclusion of our meeting with just one or two small meetings still to be held. The BRICS Ministers of Foreign Affairs and International Relations held their BRICS standalone meeting of foreign ministers yesterday, and today we were joined by the Ministers of Foreign Affairs representing countries that we refer to as the Friends of BRICS. These are countries that have shown over the years a consistent interest in being associated with BRICS and participating in our various activities. As chair of BRICS this year, we of course have assumed responsibility for convening and chairing all meetings of BRICS. And you're all aware of our theme for this year, which links very well with the issues that the world is really confronting. The theme is BRICS in Africa, partnership for mutually accelerated growth, sustainable development, and inclusive multilateralism. You know, those three form the rubric of the focus of the world today. In this meeting, we were really thrilled that all the BRICS ministers were present. We had the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Federative Republic of Brazil, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Russian Federation, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of India, and we were joined by the first Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of the People's Republic of China, Vice Minister Ma. The standalone meeting of BRICS Ministers of Foreign Affairs and International Relations is really the midterm meeting which prepares for the Leaders' Summit. In our meeting, we deliberated on a number of key themes that are topical. These included a reflection on global and regional politics and world economic development, including our desire for the strengthening and transforming of global governance systems. We also looked at, I think, an important subject, which is what are the links that there should be between BRICS and G20 in an increasingly, in our view, multipolar world. We have a sense that we're moving away from a unipolar, and there's increasing interest in multipolarity. So how do we draw together these formations that have a number of shared ideals and goals? We also discussed sustainable and inclusive global economic recovery. We continue to refer to COVID-19 and its impact on all our economies and the need to continue to make efforts to ensure that we have sustained recovery all over the world. And of course, that as BRICS countries and members, we play a role in supporting particularly the most vulnerable in ensuring that they are not further left behind. We devoted a great deal of attention to our values and principles which are closely associated with fostering an environment of peace and development that really, for us as the BRICS countries, peace is absolutely necessary to development. And in that regard, we did speak about conflicts all over the world, particularly the worrying growth of terrorism in parts of the African continent, and the sway that these extremist groups are beginning to have in a number of countries, particularly in the Sahel region. We referred to Southern Africa, the case of Mozambique. We also reflected on the Democratic Republic of Congo and said when we talk about peace and security, we should not talk about just one part of the world. All threats of insecurity must be addressed. We received as well a report from the Vice President speaking on behalf of the President of the New Development Bank. Our bank, which began with 5 members, now has 8 members of the bank fully committed to it, and we are hopeful that in the short term a 9th member will complete the ratification processes and join the bank. In our view, the bank has recorded some really quite impressive progress. We're particularly thrilled that it's maintained its very, very excellent financial rating. It also has played a role, which was our aspiration when we created it, in providing support for development programs in our own countries, but in the member countries as well. We had hoped we created a different kind of development financial institution that really would be committed to addressing matters of socioeconomic development. It's our intention, both as BRICS countries and NDB members, that this development bank must have regard to ensuring fairness in global financial systems and practices, and that it should be focusing its attention toward a world in which we reduce poverty and eradicate it eventually, a world in which we promote equality, a world in which we see greater development. All of us confirmed that many of the loans we've secured through the BRICS Bank have been directed primarily at infrastructure development. We also reflected, as is our real agenda and task, on the preparations for the 15th BRICS Leaders Summit. We received a report from the Sherpa on progress in discussions on what we call institutional development, which is the further growth of BRICS in membership, as well as the discussions that the Sherpas have had on the matter of membership expansion. We also got a report on the very extensive sectoral meetings that there have been as part of this 15th BRICS year. We gave advice to the Sherpas and tasked them with more work to finalize proposals on expansion that we would like to take to the Leaders Summit. You would recall that it was South Africa that initiated what is called the outreach segment of the BRICS Leaders Summit in 2013 through its invitation to selected African leaders, particularly the chairs of regional economic communities. China introduced the concept of BRICS Plus as a platform for strengthening engagement amongst leading members of the Global South. This was extended beyond leaders to the foreign ministers level from 2022, when China was chair, and we have continued this by inviting this year a select group of foreign ministers from the continent and the Global South, ministers chairing or whose countries are chairs of regional organizations. We had the foreign ministers of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, the Arab Republic of Egypt, the Oriental Republic of Uruguay, the United Arab Emirates, and Uruguay, you would recall, Egypt and UAE are the 3 new members of the new development bank. We also invited the foreign ministers of the Union of Comoros, the Democratic Republic of Congo, the Gabonese Republic, the Republic of Burundi, and the Republic of Guinea-Bissau. Some of the colleagues were present in the room, others joined us virtually. All of these countries are playing important roles as either chair of the African Union or chair of regional economic communities, as I've indicated. The foreign ministers of the Republic of Cuba, the Republic of Indonesia, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the foreign minister, who's also Minister of Worship, of the Argentine Republic, and the first vice minister of the Republic of Kazakhstan also were invited as chairs of regional organizations of the South. We also had the foreign minister of the Islamic Republic of Iran. So quite a rich spread of regions, of development status, of issues of concern. Our Friends of BRICS meeting focused on the need we all expressed for moving from solidarity to collective action in delivering mutually accelerated growth, in acting on sustainable development, in pursuing inclusive, transformed multilateralism. We agreed that we seek collectively to strengthen partnerships toward a more inclusive multipolar world, a sustainable and inclusive global economic recovery. We spoke, for example, that despite the special drawing rights, which you're all familiar with, not everybody has had access to the SDR provisions, and we need to be looking at why some are not getting that liquidity, which is so necessary to post-COVID economic recovery. We also spoke about and supported the notion of really looking at how we can transform international development finance institutions and have a more representative voice for the developing world. How we can change the quota within the IMF, etc., to be more fair, the representation in governance structures, access to financing, which is not at a cost that leads to debt, and all those issues. We also agreed that one of the key purposes of BRICS that we'll try to encourage is really fostering dialogue as a pathway to peace and development. We believe the world needs to talk much more, even when there are troubling problems, that we could resolve these through dialogue and close interaction. So in conclusion, as the BRICS foreign ministers, we are pleased with the positive and constructive deliberations we held here. And I am convinced that BRICS is making genuine and impactful contributions to its efforts to making the world a better place for all of humanity. When we ended our meeting, we said all of us are interested in a better world which has a more pleasing human face. So thank you very much for your attention. I think I've kept my colleague who's waiting for me rather too long, and unfortunately I don't have a long time with him. So I will have to leave in order to continue with my meetings. I have to make sure I meet all my guests, otherwise I'm considered extremely rude, which is totally un-African. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This concludes our briefing. Thank you for coming.